Today, I'm gonna roast everyone's waifus. Wait, these are the husbandos. I have created 5 tiers. If you can see them. One true husbando. Only one will go in this slot. Only one gets the coveted one true husbando slot. Honestly, a lot of characters in 14 are objectively very attractive, and these are the people that, yeah, I would, but no, you don't qualify as husbando. I love you, but like a brother. I consider a lot of characters to be like family, because they treat me better than my real family. Some characters don't do it for me. Self-explanatory. No offense to those who do like them. A big offense to people who do like the characters that I'll put in this tier. I'm just kidding. I'm not here to insult people for their opinions. I'm just here to share my bad opinions. I love how all of these characters just have their normal models except for Thancred. Thancred just has this fucking Devil May Cry CGI model. You know, honestly, if given the opportunity, I would probably Thancred. I've explained on stream several times that I thought he was going to have a closer relationship with the player, but he ended up just having a close relationship with Minfilia and Reen. So, he didn't really do it for me. But, I mean, in another world, he might do it for me. But, speaking of characters who have a strong connection with the player, hell yeah, I absolutely would. Orchifant, may you rest in peace. I love you. Let's all cry thinking about him. I mean, just even replaying earlier parts of the game and just noticing how, like, most of the characters just use you for your abilities, but then Orchifant just loves you as a friend. Or something else if you interpret it that way. And in the original Japanese version, if you have not looked up that translation or that the original dialogue, it is beautiful. Is that Foncel? I want to say I love you, but like a brother, because I mean, true, he doesn't really do it for me, but like, look at him, he is adorable. Self-explanatory. Actually, the worst. Pretty sure this is a non-controversial pick, but I don't understand how this man is such a gremlin, but his son is so hot. We'll get to that later, but oh boy, we're getting to the spicy stuff, the garbage opinions, right off the bat. We are only 4 on the list right now, and I'm about to share my opinion that lots of people will think is a terrible opinion. Graha is actually the worst. He has no restraint. Before you guys get really mad at me, I liked him in Shadowbringers. I liked him up until 5.3. Once he came to the source, I feel like he was only there for fan service and was only there to just fangirl over the player, and it got way too much, like, and I noticed that most of his dialogue is like, oh, I care about your adventures, I care about me going on your adventures, but never about how I'm doing. I really hope he takes a backseat in the next expansion. I know he won't, because then the fans will be mad, but also, I have to reiterate one more time, I know a lot of people who love him. I mean no disrespect towards those people. But this is just how I feel, and I personally, in Endwalker, I can't stand him. As Exarch, he's fine. Never really did it for me in that way, but who's this guy? One of the Guild Quest people, I think. I'll just put him in, doesn't do it for me. Atoirel! I like him. I definitely like him as a brother. I mean, He is basically my brother, because I am officially a husband lord. He's also kind of handsome, so in another world I definitely would. But I'm gonna put him in this tier, but it just feels like incest. Maybe a hot take, but Sid doesn't do it for me. A really hot take, but I kind of think that this Sid is one of the less interesting Final Fantasy Sids. I mean, in ARR, he was definitely one of the more interesting characters, but I'm saying that because no one in ARR was interesting. And now I feel like he only really shows up when you need an airship. Oh, here's a guy I absolutely fucking hate. Whether he is Asahi or Fandaniel, I think that's Asahi, but I cannot stand him. He is just the worst. Absolute weasel. That's saying that is an insult to weasels. I'm sorry. La Habrea doesn't do it for me. None of the Asians really do. They're kind of just, eh. Once someone compared them to Organization 13 from Kingdom Hearts, but Organization 13 actually has personality, so... I mean, once I learn more about the Asians, like, once I'm given new context on them, maybe they're more interesting, but still, it's like, it's not those people who are interesting in that plotline. This catfish. Ah, I just got catfished! I haven't done this Beast Tribe quest yet, and I'm assuming this is from the Beast Tribe. But, I think he's cute. I'll love him like a brother. Ardbert, my other self. Another shard of me. I love him like a brother, I'll say that. I thought we had a really, interesting relationship in the game. I don't know if it gripped me as much as some other plots did, but... I kind of liked him, and I know a lot of people who are like, think it could work out between him and the Warrior of Light. I'm sorry, but, Is this, that's either Elidibus or Nabrialis. I can't see the sideburns, but either way, you don't do it for me. Who is this guy? Sorry, I'm putting you here, I'm sorry. And now for the moment we've all been waiting for. No one who knows me will be surprised by this at all, but this is my one true husbando. I just think his relationship with the Warrior of Light is precious. And he obviously really admires you. And your relationship grows through all these hardships. But, like, it never gets overbearing. And throughout all of it, he retains his personality. He retains his goals, his need to protect Ishgard, to create an Ishgard where bastards like him don't have to suffer, where everyone is equal in the eyes of the Fury. And, I don't know, I just think it's so beautiful. I really hope they just don't completely abandon him in the main quest. Like, I really want to see him in, like, more alliance scenarios, and more like, out of Ishgard scenarios, I guess. I love him. Alright, enough on that. Everyone knows how much I adore him. I barely remember this guy. I barely remember, Conrad? Is that your name? Either way, you don't do it for me. Because if you did, I would remember your name, which is probably Conrad, but... Gomen Nasai. My name is Ken-sama. This is the average Stormblood apologist. Hancock. Nero is interesting. Because when I first saw him, I was like, wow, the first guy who doesn't look like an anime character. So I thought I would be more attracted to him, but I mean, once again, it's more of a, he doesn't really have a strong relationship with the player character, and That's what I base a lot of my attraction to fictional characters on. My need for real-life affection. It's kind of sad. He doesn't really do it for me. It's clear that his heart belongs to Sid. Oh boy, another one. Another very popular character. The most popular character, in fact. You know what? I have to confess something. I would. I absolutely would. But, I mean, in contrast to the people I'm usually attracted to, he absolutely hates you. But he's such a fucking well-written character. Sorry, Hildebrand, you don't really do it for me. I'm not gonna lie, I fucking love this shithead. I mean, a lot of characters in the game really piss me off. They are just really annoying, but the narrative treats them like they're your best friend and you have to love them. But when this guy shows up, he's like your annoying little brother who can't do anything right, and everyone just makes fun of him. And, you know, I'm kind of cheering for him. I want him to have success. He does have like a really good scene in one of the Heavensward post patches where he just asks Emmerich how he does it. Because, like, he's just screwing up, and he just doesn't know how to, he's just a spoiled kid who doesn't know how to be a leader. And I'm really cheering for you, kid. Once again, don't know who this guy is. Probably from some quest I either didn't do or can't remember. Is that... No, that's Teleji Adeleji. Yeah, he's actually the worst. Self-explanatory, I don't need to explain myself. I feel like I can't put Lalafels in anything above this tier. Maybe this tier, actually, but, Papalymo is like the most forgettable character the first time I played, and, when the spoiler event happened to him, I was just kind of like, oh, okay, they finally did that. When I'm replaying it, I like him a lot more. He's probably like the most powerful living mage alive in ARR. But he doesn't do it for me, because he's a Lalafell. Ishgard's resident himbo. I would. He's more of a one-night stand kind of guy, but I don't know. I do feel like he's... Out of all the Scions, he's my best friend. He just... Well, in Endwalker, I really noticed that we were the only Scions that didn't come from Sharlayan. And we kind of bonded together, and obviously Heavensward is my favorite expansion, so whenever he talked about that and the bonds we forged, I really love this man. I do love him, but like a brother, but also I would sleep with you once. Godbert doesn't do it for me, I'm sorry. You know, I probably would. Tell me, for who do you... Xenos is kind of... I don't like Xenos, I'm sorry. I think he's overdone. I've heard he was designed to be the most obnoxious character possible, and I can tell. But a lot of people really like him. But I don't know. Like, they kept inserting him. They kept dragging his arc on. I said Archon. They just kept... I want to say they should have killed him off after the main Stormblood, but his battle with you in 4.5 led to one of my favorite scenes in the entire game, and even though said scene involves one true husbando Emmerich and not Xenos, it still was Xenos that caused that. Actually, no, it was Graha. Graha made me pass out. Is that Nidhogg? I think that's Nidhogg, but Nidhogg is one of my favorite villains. He's super cool, but he's actually the worst. Because, he gave the Ishgardians, like, validity to their claims that all dragons were bad. And then he, took over Estinian. And Hraesvelgr, I love him, but like a brother. I just fucking love dragons, okay? Who are you? You're someone who doesn't do it for me. Gosetsu, he doesn't do it for me. I like his character, I just wish he was in a plot that I didn't completely hate. He reminds me of Iroh from Avatar: The Last Airbender. And he's, one of the few, Stormblood characters that I don't absolutely hate. So that's a plus. But he's just always involved with plot lines that I'm just like... And then I feel like in his first introduction, it was really goofy, and it was just kind of like, Heavensward is over, we're moving on to stuff that I don't care about as much, I'm very sad. You know, Urianger doesn't do it for me, but I love him as a character. So I'm tempted to put him here, but you know what, I will put him here. You know, he's like that weird distant brother that only visits every once in a while, but you forget how much you actually like him. I really didn't like him that much until Endwalker, though. I don't know, he has a lot of really good scenes in Endwalker. And I feel like a lot of the Scions were like just their character development had already happened. But Urianger, like, he had a really nice conversation with you where he was like, "Thou knowest thou hast not talketh much with you." You know, like typical Urianger speak. Titan, doesn't do it for me. Daddy Forton, I love him like a father. I want him to tell me how proud of me he is. I want to like play catch with him out in the yard. He's just a good man. Raubon, he's a character that I initially thought was kind of generic until the Bloody Banquet. That arm was really holding him back. I'll put him in I love you but like a brother tier. He's like a cool uncle, I guess. I think Stormblood should have focused on him way more. He just kind of felt like an afterthought. But, I guess we gotta spend time up. Speaking of characters that Stormblood spent way too much time on, I think this might be my least favorite character in the game. And I honestly do not know... I mean, I know I'm saying I'm not judging people for liking characters that I personally don't like, but it's like he's actually the worst. I mean, everyone treats him like, oh, he's the long-lost king, he's the chosen one, but like, he doesn't really do much. And then he has like no connection to me as the Warrior of Light. And he was only using me for my abilities. And he does a lot of really problematic things too. Like, he used the entire steppe as his own personal army. He took advantage of their entire system and then was like, oh, I won. Now you gotta do what I say. Now you gotta liberate this country you've never been to. And then with Yotzi's parents, he was like, oh, it's not really my place to judge because they supported the rebellion. And I'm like, they sold her into sex slavery and they were about to sell her into sex slavery again. That's how evil they were. And also, he trusted Asahi, even though Asahi is obviously evil. I really fucking hate this guy. Varys is a wasted character. One of my favorite scenes in the game was actually the Alliance leaders debating Varys in 4.5, when he was just shutting everyone down. that he was using his very twisted Hitler logic. And I mean, him being in the story could have led to like some really good, just some really dark political plots. But no, Xenos had to kill him. We gotta make way for the anime shit. Pippin is a Lalafell, so he doesn't do it for me. Magnai does not do it for me. I still have PTSD from the entire step plot in Stormblood. He just imprisoned us for no reason, or some reason that I can't remember, and it just took forever to get out of there. And I know a lot of people really like the step plot, but we just stayed there for way too long, and I got really annoyed. Vothri doesn't do it for me. He could be actually the worst, but he's specifically designed. He was designed by M itself to be the worst. So, I mean, the story knows. The story knows what he is, and, I mean, I know the story said that, Thornton is the worst, but, I'm putting him in this tier because he ordered the torture of Emmerich, which I don't agree with. But, also, I just want everyone to know that I think Vothri is more tolerable than Hien. So, this is my objectively terrible list. That's a lie, it's the greatest list. I am so sorry. This will probably be the last video I ever make because the Graha fans are coming after me. Actually, the Xenos fans are coming after me too. And the one Asahi fan is coming after me. This doesn't have any Endwalker characters, I just realized, but I'd put Hythlodaeus in, honestly I would. I'd put Arenville in, I like him, but he doesn't quite do it for me. Who are the other new characters in Endwalker? Oh yeah, the twins' dad. I mean, I would, but I'd hate it, and I'd hate myself.